a very good evening to each and every one of you, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Ms. Belinda Scandal. We have got a marvellous show for you tonight. Very, very soon, we are going to be speaking to the lovely Ben Hodge. He's going to be telling us about his wonderful show that is now at the Edinburgh Fringe, one to definitely catch. And dropping into our studio and also on location is our very lovely Eve Jean. This is how your show's looking. Well, we did promise you a whole host of wonderful people, and one of them is joining us now. It's Fiona Moss. Now, Fiona Moss is doing something very, very special with the lovely charity, the Natalie Kate Moss Trust. Of course, they support us, and we are proud to be supporting them as well. Welcome to the show, Fiona. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're having a busy day, and more importantly, you've got lots of events coming up, including something that you're bringing to us on the 11th of August. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so you're right. We are very busy at the moment, kind of moving around and trying to spread our message, which is all about how can we prevent brain hemorrhages. And a big part of prevention of brain hemorrhages is managing blood pressure, because we know that high blood pressure is the leading cause of lifestyle-related brain hemorrhages. And unfortunately, we know that a third of the population have high blood pressure, and 50% of those people don't know that they do.
How often should people be checking their blood pressure then?
Yeah, so it really depends on your individual circumstance. So if you do think that you have high blood pressure, or you're getting readings of high blood pressure consistently, firstly, go to your GP. That is the most important thing, is go to your GP. And what they're most likely to advise is to be checking it more regularly, a couple of times a day, persistently over maybe a course of a couple of weeks. But that will depend on everyone's individual circumstance. If you have persistently normal blood pressure, and it's in a normal blood pressure range, then you'll probably have to check it a little bit less frequently. But like anything, the more you're aware, the more you're on top of your numbers, the more you can understand when, something isn't right, and you can make tweaks and adjustments, because that's what we want to do. We want to make small changes rather than getting to a point where, it becomes something monumental that we have to make big lifestyle changes, or even go on medication or have more treatment about it as well. So I would say if you have normal blood pressure, every couple of weeks or every month as well, and making sure that it stays within that range is fine.
And a lot of our viewers are within the age range of 18 to 35. I mean, they probably think that they don't need to check it. The youngsters these days, they seem to think they're a little bit superhuman, don't they? Would you employ them to check it?
Yeah, it's a really good point, Belinda, because what we are noticing through a particular report from the Office of National Statistics is that the age range that you're talking about have the highest number of cases, the highest percentage of cases of undiagnosed hypertension proportionally to the number of cases. And the reason being is exactly what you just said, is, they don't think it's a problem. And your health isn't a problem until it's a problem. And that couldn't be more true of having high blood pressure. And the impact that, say, high blood pressure can have on brain hemorrhages, it happens instantaneously. There's no warning signs. There's no sort of symptoms that lead up to it. And that's why it's really, really important to check. If we can help that age range at that point, and not only help the people who are undiagnosed, but also as they age, and they're more likely to get hypertension as they age, they're going to be more educated and more equipped to know how to manage it, so that they can catch it early, make the necessary changes quickly, so it doesn't become a problem. And this is where, our slogan, if we wanted to say that, is prevent the preventable, because it is something that can be prevented, and we don't need to kind of have it create a huge problem in our lives.
So 11th of August, you're going to be where?
We're going to be at the Blackburn Cathedral at the Pink Link regional event.
You're doing marvellous work, and we're going to do some more with you in the next few weeks as well. In the meantime, though, Fiona, thank you so much for your time, and everybody, heed these words. You might sound healthy, you might look healthy, but you just never know. Prevent the preventable. Thanks very much, Fiona. Thank you. Well, look, he's just popped into the studio, everybody. It's our very lovely Eve Jean. How are you?
Belinda, I'm good, are you?
What have you been up to?
Well, I've got a question for you, actually. Have you seen those adverts for the balloon exhibition around Manchester lately?
I have, yeah. They're
absolutely everywhere. It's an exhibition by a Japanese artist, and this is what I found out about it.
Hello and welcome, Your Manchester. I'm here with Eve Jean because we unfortunately have no one to interview today. But we're here at the Balloons exhibition in Aviva Studios, and what can I say? If you've seen all the advertisements, this place is going to look pretty familiar to you. Follow me, we'll find our way through. Up there you can see the artist herself. You might know about the infinity rooms that she did at the Tate in London a few years ago. That was extremely popular, and to be honest, this is just as popular. As I was saying before, she's very famous for her infinity mirrors. Oh my God! It's like you can see yourself for miles, probably more miles. It's infinity. As you can see, we're in front of a tiny doll that's not so tiny, but in comparison to the one over there, it is absolutely mini. He has a dog, which doesn't look like any dog I've ever seen before, coming into a bit of a tentacle situation. This part of the exhibition is called A Bouquet of Love I Saw in the Universe, which is a belief in the interconnectedness between humans, the natural world and the cosmos. The polka dots are very much her signature style, and it comes from the kind of hallucination she gets, and it's quite psychedelic. She's been in a mental institution since 1970. It's all about mental health and how she kind of deals with the depression she has.
And joining us now in studio is Ben Hodge. Now, Ben Hodge is a fabulous, fabulous comedian, presenter, and he started life over at the University of Salford. Since then, we are going to be joining him now with his show in Edinburgh. So tell us how this all began for you, and why did you get into comedy and shows and things?
So for me, comedy was like a really great outlet, like throughout my life. So I was always like the class clown sort of person, kind of like your typical sort of, funny kid, I guess. I just tried to be funny to kind of have a way to sort of express myself. And it wasn't until I went to university that I'd always admired stand-up, and it was a craft that I'd loved. But it wasn't until I went to uni that I saw people my age doing it, and I was like, wow, like this is how you do it. Like, this is where people start, and I couldn't believe it. And so I started doing stand-up there, and that was 4.5 years ago now. And to be honest, it's just been like an amazing adventure ever since. So when you come to my show, it's very fun, and I'm very sort of unapologetic about who I am. And I want people to come and just be unapologetic with me about transness, about queerness. I want people to come along, and you can expect me to just like go all out, just kind of say it as it is. Like, there is no skirting around it. There is no beating around the bush, if you pardon the pun. I just go straight in. And, it's a chance to laugh with trans people as well. Like I say, our lives and our existence are treated as so sad, and like it can be hard. But also there's so much funny stuff that happens, like in our lives, as people who have to go through this thing. And I want people to share that trans joy as well.
And the thing is, it's working for you, because now you're in Edinburgh with your show. I mean, how did that come about?
Well, so I've been going to Edinburgh for a couple of years. The first year I went as part of a compilation called Soul Funny, which was the University of Salford. And then I went with a company called Comedy Sports the kind of previous 2 years. And I did do 2021, but just overnight. But I went with Comedy Sports last year, and I was watching shows, and I was watching people who I've gigged with do shows, debuting, and I was like, wow, like, and as I talked to people, they were like, listen, you have this story to tell, and you have this comedy that kind of surrounds that. And right now it sounds like it's like, I think the way people talk to me, it felt like it was something that was needed to be heard. And I think it is needed to be heard, but that's not why I kind of do it. I do it because I love comedy. But So I was like, okay, I think this is the year. I'm just going to bite the bullet, go and do a work in progress and just experience it, get to know what it's like doing a whole month of shows, get to know what that's actually, what that actually is like. So I just thought, if I take the leap now, it's the best time to do it. And I'm here, I'm in Edinburgh. I haven't started shows yet, but Friday I'll be starting.
Where can we find your show? When's it on? And how do we get tickets?
So my show is at 6:15 p.m. at the Three Sisters in the Wee Room. Tickets are always pay what you can. I'm very passionate about keeping my show accessible and pay what you can. So if you go to the Ed Fringe website and search "It's a Boy" with a question mark, there's pay what you can tickets. I hope ranging from about £3, £2.50 upwards. However, what you can also do is, if you've either can't afford to reserve a ticket or don't want to, that's totally fine. You can just rock up on the day, hope that there's a seat for you. There is an option to pay what you can at the end, but there is absolutely no pressure because I just love having an audience.
You enjoy it, don't you? That's fantastic. Unfortunately for now, though, Ben, we're out of time. Have a fabulous run in Edinburgh. Like I say, so many of our viewers dying to see what you do, and we can't wait for them to see it. Thanks so much. Thank you. Well, that's it for this week's show, everybody. Join us next week when I'll be speaking to Nathaniel Hall. Also in the studio, everybody, we've got a plethora of wonderful guests, so make sure you check it out. Like, subscribe, and tell the world that this is the place to be. It is your Manchester.